Hello friends, let's do my beautiful bride Anusha's wedding makeup with me. So a few things about her is that she has very oily skin, she wanted good coverage on her face, and she doesn't like a whole lot of color. We're definitely going with more neutral browns on everything. So I cleanse her face with Bioderma. Like I said, she is an oily girl. So we're going to use Mehron Skin Prep Pro. This is a mattifying toner. I let that dry for a second and then I go in with all my skin prep over top. This is just going to help create a little oil barrier between her skin and the makeup, just trying to keep the oil at bay as much as possible. I prep with Embryolisse and then the Kiehl's Avocado Eye Cream, which is the best eye cream. And then I put my Hydrogel eye patches on. I love this to just sink the moisturizer in. And then I'm going to push all of the product in her skin with my Medicube wand. I love this thing. It is one of my favorite additions to my kit. My brides feel bougie and it really, really helps sink all of that amazing skin prep that I just put on. So she had amazing brows to start with, so we didn't really need a whole lot of extra oomph. We did find people making a full on like rap music video in the driveway of this hotel, and it was really funny. We were dying laughing. They were like skateboarding. It was hilarious. I used the Anastasia brow wiz just to kind of outline her brows and give her a little bit of color and doing just like super small strokes to make them look like hair. Then we're going to prep the eyelids with the Hourglass Vanish concealer. That's so hard to say. And then I used my dual-sided foundation brush. This is the Makeup by Mario, the F5 brush. It's my favorite brush in the whole entire world. So I use that to just pat in the concealer because we want this to be a very thin layer. But she has very oily eyelids, so we want to make sure that it is super prepped. So I'm going to also carve out the top of her brows as well. We want her brows to just frame her face really well, and I really find very lightly sculpting the brows. I don't want to do like a 2016 brow sculpt situation, but I really feel like just lightly sculpting out the brows really helps them pop off the face, especially in photos. Because she has such dark features, we really want to kind of balance that out with the brightness around the brows. So after that, I'm going to prep the eyelids with the Huda Beauty. This is the Pound Cake Loose Powder. And then I'm going to go in with my NARS Laguna 2 bronzer. I put this down before I put any shadow. This is going to help my shadows just kind of very seamlessly blend in with the skin. If you're not putting bronzer down first, you are making a huge mistake with your eyeshadow, especially if you're doing more natural glam. So I outlined all of the shades that I'm using from this is the Patrick Ta Matte palette. It's my favorite palette. If you don't have it, you need to get it. And then I cut out her like eyelid. I didn't do like a cut crease. It's not really a cut crease. It's more of I call it like a baby soft cut crease, because it's a much more blended look, but we are kind of carving out that initial section because of her hooded eyes. I wanted to really open them up, and cutting it out with a light concealer is really going to not only help the shimmer that we're using stick to the lid, but also help it look super bright and bold. It's from the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Love this palette. It is a perfect bridal palette because it kind of has that mix between cools and warms, and I love the shimmers. The Natasha Denona shimmers are almost as good as the Makeup by Mario shimmers. Don't even get me started on the Makeup by Mario shimmers. So then I take a charcoal brown eyeliner. So this isn't brown. It's not black. It's like right in the middle. It's that charcoal brown, which I love because we were really trying to steer away from super harsh, dark colors. We wanted everything to be a little bit softer. So that is my Makeup Forever Artist pencil. And then I buffed it out with a little domed shadow brush. I love layering this liner. It just blends out so beautifully into that really, really soft liner, but still gives you a nice impact, if that makes sense. So it will really layer and blend on top of itself really, really well. And something about me, I only do individual lashes. I'm not a strip lash girly. If you're a strip lash girly, that's okay. But I'm telling you, when you switch to individual lashes, your brides and you are going to be so much happier with your looks. So then I just clean up any little fallout, crisp up my wing with some Bioderma on a Q-tip. And then I go in with my underpainting. So I have been loving underpainting with the Rare Beauty. These are the liquid contours. I just feel like they're super pigmented and they really blend well into foundation, especially using it underneath. You do have to give this a second to dry though, so don't go right in on top of with foundation because it gets weird. It kind of muddies up a little bit, so you have to make sure that it dries down. We do put things on top of this, but again, we are going for really soft lines with her makeup. We weren't trying to do anything harsh, so if I wanted a little bit more of a harsh contour, I would add a little bit more and add it on top, but like I said, we're going for a very natural look. So we did a super thick coat of the Hourglass Vanish concealer underneath her eyes, and then I really started to blend that down. That was kind of the most coverage that we needed, was that little area. And then I did contour out her nose, buffed that out as well. Same thing with the Rare Beauty, the liquid contour. So buffed that out. And then I went in with my favorite. This is the NARS Light Reflecting. Typically, if I'm going for a little more natural, I am going to thin this out with the one size base thinner, but I didn't necessarily need to do that because we did want the coverage. This is definitely a more true medium coverage foundation. So I will apply that with the same concealer brush and then tap it in instead of buffing it into. That's going to maintain the coverage all over the skin because that was something she really was concerned about, was making sure all of the spots and acne scarring that she had on her cheeks was super covered. But again, we weren't going for anything super, super heavy. So it's kind of fading that line between natural, but we still wanted the coverage and the skin finish to be natural. So this foundation kind of gives me a little bit of both. It's just about how you apply it. So tapping this in is going to give you a much more high coverage than buffing it in. Make sure you get the net, girlies. We're not having lines here. And then I have been loving the Makeup by Mario. This is the peach powder. I love this on more medium skin tones. I just think it kind of brightens the face, but it doesn't give that like weird white cast that I feel like some powders do, you know, especially with my like more tan medium skin tone girlies. We are not looking for white under eyes. It's not cute, not the vibe. So loving this powder for that. And then I just lightly dust it off. I don't let it sit very long. We're not baking necessarily. We are just really wanting to set that area like under her eyes, around her nose, and her chin and forehead are very oily. So we are wanting to kind of catch that before it goes anywhere crazy. Then the Laguna 2 bronzer goes on top. This is the powder version. French Rosette from Haus Labs is one of my favorite blushes. And then I melt everything in with the one size melting. This is like the glass spray, I think is what it's called. I've been loving this setting spray. I feel like One Size has really got like a full monopoly to me on the setting spray game. There is no setting spray like it. Every single setting spray they have come out with has just, I've been super pleased with, especially for bridal. It just locks and loads the makeup. Then I do a little bit of that same shadow underneath the lash line. We wanted a very soft under lash line, nothing too crazy. So did that, and then we're going to pop on some waterproof black mascara. I do not play about my waterproof mascara. This is my favorite, the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It does not flake. It does not move. It is and very black. It's like the blackest black, and I love it. It is just, I just can't get over how much this mascara just really outperforms like most of like drugstore mascaras and high-end mascaras. If I spend $50 on a mascara and it flakes, I'm literally going to punch someone in the face. It's so annoying. Then we hit the underside, bottom lash line again. Nothing too crazy on the bottom lash line. We were going for more natural, so I just tapped it really, really lightly with my spoolie that already had mascara. I didn't load any more mascara up on it. Lined her lips with the Morphe Sweet Tea lip liner. I love this lip liner. We wanted a very, very soft lip, almost more of a nude kind of brown look. Everything was a little bit more on those brown monochromatic looks. So we did the Kim K lipstick on top of that and kind of had her mush that all around. Then I set with the One Size on Till Dawn, and I mean,
it looks so good.
It's literally perfection. Oh, I mean, it's perfect. It's everything that I wanted. I love it so much.
We were super obsessed. No changes, no nothing. She was very, very sunburned and was peeling really bad. So we were definitely having to like cover everything up on her back and shoulders because she was peeling. But here is the finished look. We were really happy with how it came out. She loved the coverage. We loved the eyes. It was just such a beautiful look overall.